Hello, everyone. So, this is Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V, where we are intentional about connecting you with leaders that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are. Are endless. Now, one of the things that is happening this morning is I'm trying to go live on IG as well as go live. I'm not even sure whether I'm on IG, to be very honest with you. Let's be very clear on that, okay? Because I'm trying to do two things at one time. So, anyway, so we have a coaching program, of course, that teaches nurses to work from their computers anywhere around the world, making money and owning their own time. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you today about is nothing just happens. And so this morning, my guest who was supposed to be up here, she was not able to come. And one of the things that I needed to be intentional about is it being intentional about serving my clients, because at the end of the day the audience is the audience, and when they come, and you want to make sure. And so years ago I watched this video by TD Jakes, and the video said, and I'm gonna put my phone down right here because so I can concentrate. So the video said nothing just happens. And so at that time I had just went through a divorce, just struggling with life in general, just literally just struggling. And I felt like that there were things that were happening to me. Like my dad had passed away from, he had Alzheimer's. He had passed away in 2010, 2011. Um, I got a divorce, or was separated. 2012, got a divorce. I mean, just all these things were happening, like life-changing situations. And so one of the things that I was very intent on doing was to ensure that I just kept it moving. And I don't think that I thought of it in that manner. There were days when, and people tell me this now, that they thought that I was fine during that time, but I really was not. They say that they didn't see me crying, they didn't see me upset. They say that during that time that they thought everything was okay, but literally for 2 years straight, I went to sleep, I cried myself to sleep, and then I got up the next morning and I went to work. And one of the things that I know for sure and for a fact is that God gives us renewed strength day by day. So in the video, nothing just happens. What he talks about, what TD Jakes talks about, is the fact that people will walk in and out of your life. And what you have to do is you have to understand that whenever people don't stay in your life, that they are not staying there because they're not tied to your destiny. So understanding that is huge, right? Understanding that people will come and go. And for me, I was a clinger. Like, I like people. I'm still a clinger. Like, I love people, right? And because I love people, it's really, really hard when people say goodbye. It's really, really hard when people come into my life and then they don't necessarily want to stay. And so I tell people all the time that what I did during that time was, I probably watched that video probably about, I don't know if it had 1 million views. I had 250,000 or 500,000 were my views, because I had to watch that over and over and over again, because I love people. Again, I had to be very clear on what that was doing to my life, because what you have to understand is that you have this life to live, and it is amazing. And you have that time between your life and your death. And you have to be very intentional about hanging around with people who are doing good for you, right? Whatever that is. And so hanging around with people who are amazing to you, hanging around with people who serve you well. And if those people don't serve you well, then it's not your obligation. You owe it to yourself to walk away yourself. Now, I'm still not good with that. I'm still not good with walking out of people's lives. I'm still not good with, saying that we won't be friends anymore. I'm still not good with that. And I don't know that I ever will be. But I am real good with protecting my space. And I encourage you to protect your space. I say that you're the sum total of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. And if you're the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. Being very clear on the fact that you are amazing. You're amazing. And, you have so much to give to the world. And so, Les Brown talks about the graveyard and how the graveyard is the richest place on the earth. And the reason why it's the richest place on the earth is because, there's books that were never written, cures that were never that never came about, all because someone was afraid to do it. All because, you were afraid to take that leap. And one of the things that I was listening to this guy last night on YouTube, because I try my best to be very intentional about I watch TV every now and then, but I try my best to be very intentional about watching, people who are, as Danielle Bryant says, at YouTube University, right? I'm very intentional about watching people who have done better than I have done, and being very intentional about studying them, study their behavior, study what they did, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are just bossing the game. You want to make sure that you're doing that thing that if no one else paid you to do, that you would do that thing. And so I just wanted to come just for a few minutes today to encourage you, because a lot of times what we think is that things are happening to us, when the reality is that they're just happening for us, right? We're, at the end of the day, we're just we are human beings, and things happen for a reason. I remember when I was in LPN school, going to school, and I didn't have a high enough GPA in order to get to my RN degree, right? And so I stayed in LPN for 10 years. And I was fairly upset about that. And I thought, woe is me. But the reality was that was teaching me something. It gave me the ability to go back. It gave me the ability to come back even bigger and better than I would have been before. I don't think that if I'd have got my RN degree at that time, I don't think that I would be as good or as ambitious as I am today, because it's a different type. I mean, I'm a different type of individual today because of everything that has happened to me. And so, nurses are very resilient, because let me tell you something. You tell a nurse they can't do something, oh, and you best bet that nurse is going to try to do whatever that thing is that you said that nurse can't do. You better believe that nurse is going to do it. So being very clear on the fact that you are amazing. You have knowledge that you already know. And what I realized during that time, what I realized during my time as a nurse, is that there's so many things that you learn. So many things. And I talk about Maslow's hierarchy. So Maslow's hierarchy is that, it was this guy that was born, I don't know when he was born, but anyway, he was a scientist back in the 1960s, and he came up with this theory, with this hierarchy called Maslow's hierarchy. And at the top of Maslow's hierarchy, there is self-actualization. So what that means is that you were doing the thing that if no one ever paid you to do that thing, then you would do it, right? At the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy, there is your physiological being, right? And so what that means is that you have to reach your physiological being. Like you have to ace your game at your physiological being in order for you to reach the highest, best form of yourself, which is self-actualization, right? And so what I realized was that that's what I got to do. And so because I realized that that was what I had to do, it's a game changer. And nurses have that knowledge. We have that knowledge automatically. We have that knowledge because we learn it in school. And so in order for people to even get higher than that, is your physiological being and this emotional and spiritual and all of that, we already have that knowledge. We already have that knowledge to get people to their own self-actualization. And so because of that, because we have that knowledge, because we have those things in our brains that helps us, it's a game changer. And so I encourage you to, if you are a nurse and if you want to build your business on a foundation that will not fail, I encourage you to really, really tap into this program. So again, I wish that we would have had an interview this morning, but that's okay. We are fine. Things will go on. Nothing just happens. Nothing is happening to you. It is always happening for you. Be very clear on that. And we just finished our VP Nursing Business Academy 4-day masterclass. It was such a phenomenal event. It really was. We had such a great time. You still have time to sign up for VP Nursing Business Academy. The last day is July 5th, 2021. We can jump on a call so you're able to gain clarity on how to create multiple streams of income, because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. You can sign up at V as in Victor, P as in Paul, nursing.com. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye-bye.